When you first pick up the novella Line, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's a straightforward alien invasion story. But if you look just a little closer, there's this really fascinating debate simmering right under the surface. A debate over what this story actually is. And today, we're going to dig right into that question.
So, what are we really looking at here? Is this some sprawling science fiction epic about humanity's first brush with the galactic empire? Or is it a tense, down to earth spy thriller all about deception and covert resistance? Let's break down the evidence for both sides.
All right, so the story kicks off with a totally classic sci-fi setup. You've got these aliens, the architects, who show up and seem totally friendly. They're offering humanity this incredible gift, a literal stairway to the stars, a space elevator that promises a golden age. But you know how these things go. There's always a catch.
First up, let's build the case for Line as a big, grand sci-fi epic. And honestly, the evidence here is pretty overwhelming. It hits all the right notes for the genre.
I mean, the invasion itself is just pure sci-fi spectacle. This is not a subtle entrance, folks. We're talking an object detected moving at 500,000 miles per hour. That's 10 times faster than any asteroid we know of. Then it turns out to be 3 massive ships. And in just 16 hours, bam, they're parked in orbit right over Washington, D.C. The scale here is just immense.
And then they start handing out the gifts. The architects don't just say hi. They bring tech that completely shatters our understanding of physics. It feels like it's ripped straight out of a classic sci-fi novel. We're talking an unbreakable metal, a space elevator, and drives that basically tell gravity to take a hike. This is the exact kind of mind-bending stuff that defines epic sci-fi.
And this quote from the alien commander, Major Hannibal Pachyderm, just lays it all out on the table. He basically says, look, we're here to conquer, not to smash things up. Their goal is to take the planet, but smartly, efficiently. The ambition is galactic. The intent is imperial. I mean, come on. That is everything you want in a huge sci-fi saga.
Okay, but what if you look past all the shiny spaceships and the crazy alien tech? If you do, you find the beating heart of a totally different kind of story. And that brings us to Exhibit B, the case for Line being a slick, covert spy thriller. So while the rest of the world is geeking out over the new aliens, this small, secret group pops up in the shadows. They call themselves the Sentinels. And these guys, led by people like Ray Voss and Tom Calder, they don't fight with lasers and starships. Nope, they fight with information, with suspicion, with secrets. There are spies operating right under the enemy's nose. And their methods? Oh man, it's pure old-school spy stuff. Forget about space battles. We are talking dead drops in coffee shops and encrypted USB keys. This is a world of whispers and shadows, not star destroyers. And this is exactly how the Sentinels work. They can't outgun the architects, so they have to outthink them. Their first huge break comes from just looking closely. They get photos of the alien ships and spot a massive lie. Their so-called perfect landing tech, it's a fake. The ships have classic burn marks all over them, clear signs of a rough re-entry.
And this quote from Sentinel leader Ray Voss, this is the big one. This is the kind of aha moment that makes a great spy story. The space elevator isn't a gift, it's a tool. See, the architects can get down to Earth, but their ships are too beat up to get back into orbit by themselves. They tricked us into building them a giant winch. All of a sudden, that epic sci-fi story becomes this really personal story of a massive deception.
So where does that leave us? We've got a sci-fi epic and a spy thriller. Well, the climax of Line is where these two worlds just smash into each other in the most incredible way. The whole final act gets kicked off not by some admiral in a war room, but by a TV personality, Xander Routh, saying this one coded phrase live on air. We built them a staircase. That's it. That's the secret signal, the trigger for the entire plan to go into motion. And the attack itself perfectly shows this fusion of genres. Up in orbit, you've got this insane sci-fi weapon, hundreds of thousands of solar mirrors focusing sunlight into one giant death ray to blind the mothership. It's awesome. But down on the ground, the victory is pure spy thriller. Little resistance cells using toy drones to squirt liquid plastic into the alien ship's exhaust ports, jamming them up without firing a single bullet. There's this one line in the novella that just captures it all perfectly. Sunlight finishes what bullets never begin. It wasn't a military win in the classic sense. It was a victory of brains and guts. So, after laying out all the evidence, after looking at both sides,
what's the final verdict? What is the true genre of Mirrorline? I mean, look at this. The book is just jam-packed with elements from both genres. You've got your alien first contact, but you've also got your secret resistance cells. You have the interstellar invasion fleet, but you've also got espionage and counterintelligence. The two are just woven together so perfectly. So here's the final verdict. The absolute genius of Mirrorline isn't about choosing one genre over the other. It's that it uses the massive, awe-inspiring stage of science fiction as the perfect cover story for a deeply human, intimate tale of spycraft and resistance. The threat might be from the stars, but the solution, that's all human cleverness, secrets, and a will to survive. And that really leaves us with one last thing to chew on, right? What truly defines a story? Is it the fantastic setting, the spaceships and aliens? Or is it the human secrets hidden right in plain sight? That is the brilliant question Mirrorline weaves you with.